herself. It's almost as if herself does not exist. Hold on, guys. Making sure this is recording. Um, yeah. She gets to the point where she's looking at herself like, I really don't need it like that. There's some guilt, there's some hesitation, a list of reasons why it's not the right time for her to spend money on herself. But let it come to those babies, let it come to those children. And she's going to spend money on herself. Let it come to her marriage or bettering herself as a wife. She's going to spend money on herself. I mean, she's going to spend money on those other things and not necessarily herself. Now, she'll practice some level of self care, but when it comes to her money, somewhere, some shape, form, how. Guilt comes up, hesitation, a list of reasons why it's not the right time for her, but she'll find every reason why she needs to spend this money on anything and anyone else. And hey y'all, thank you for joining the live. And so tonight we're going to talk about why and what it actually looks like or what it cost her to keep spending money on everything else outside of what she needs. Okay. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about investments and how she spends her money versus how she invests in herself. And so the strong friend is usually a generous person to a fault. These are high capacity, high achieving women. So they are being high achievers because they want to be able to give to others. They're typically givers. And she's very generous a lot with people, but then when it comes to her, she can be stingy with herself. And not in a sense of she's protecting herself, but in a sense of this is, she's more willing to put herself on the back burner. Okay. So she has a giving spirit that is genuinely beautiful, but somewhere that generosity has a blind spot. Her own name is never on the list. Or if it is on the list, it's at the end. Okay, so if you're a strong friend, you tend to put more of your investments into people because you value people. Okay, in your business, I know there's been several times where I have put my money into my business, and I'm like, I'll just do my nails myself, and do it that way. And there's nothing wrong with being frugal. However, we need to make sure that we are taking our time to put that same level of time and attention that we do for everyone and everything else into ourselves. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be you and the Lord standing up there saying, well, what did you do with your time? Not just with others, but with yourself. Because I've called you to love and care for yourself as well. And so she'll pay for someone else's course, or she'll pay for somebody's food. She'll cover the bill for the group. She'll buy gifts that cost more than she should be spending. Okay. But investing in her own rest and her own growth and restoration feels a little selfish sometimes for the strong friend or the high capacity woman. She'll always find a reason why, like, oh, I'll be fine. I could just, take a little break at home and I'll be fine. But not so. We were not built to be running 24/7, 365 days out of the year. We are built to last. And the only way you can last in this thing called life is you have to take time to invest in your rest, invest in your health, invest in your environment, because your environment plays a key role in how you live your life. And so sometimes restoration feels wasteful, like, oh, I can be doing something with this time that I'm sitting here. Feels like I'm doing nothing. But what you're doing is restorative when you sit and you be still and you're quiet and you're allowing your emotions to have a chance to rebuild themselves. And so sometimes restoration can feel selfish or premature. Like, I shouldn't be resting right now. I really should be cleaning my room. I really should be doing this, that, and the third. And we find ourselves running on empty. So I want to ask you, what's something you invested in for someone else that you would never spend on yourself or you have not spent on yourself? I want you to drop it in the comments. And I want you to be honest. I know for me in the past, I have sent people money for clothes and shoes and taking a lunch break on me, but then I won't go I didn't used to go take a lunch break for myself or go and buy myself some new sandals. I'm one of those kind of people that it's just like, hey, it's not that big of a deal. I'm good because I know my cup gets filled not just by the things that I do to pour into myself, but the Holy Spirit, the Lord pours into me. And this is how I'm able to keep going. However, there's a level of care of ourselves and investing of ourselves that we have to do for ourselves. The Bible says in Matthew's to love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, with everything that's within you, and then love your neighbors as you love yourself. But what we've gotten wrong over the years is we think we're supposed to love other people first and then love ourselves. The truth is, you're supposed to love yourself so that you can be capable of loving others. He says, love others as you love yourself, right? So if you don't love yourself, how are you really loving everybody else? Because the truth is, we think we're really caring for people and showing up for people and loving on them and all these other things. But the reality is, are we truly being as loving to those people if we are not caring for ourselves? This goes both ways with men and women. If we do not prioritize taking care of ourselves and prioritizing our relationship with God, it's going to be impossible to have any good relationships that will last with other people, because people that take care of themselves tend to not want to be around people that neglect themselves. That's just the way that it goes. Okay. And so some people will pay for therapy for their children. They'll invest in their friend's business or your family vacation, your sister's rent, your mom's bills. Now, when did you, or if you're watching this replay, when was the last time you spent that same energy on yourself? When was your name at the top of the priority list? Matthew 6:21 says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. This is how a lot of people find themselves falling into people pleasing, which can also fall into loyalty idolatry. Because you are loyal to a fault, and sometimes that loyalty can get you caught up. Okay. And so the more you're caught up in loyalty to people, but not loyalty to God and not loyalty to yourself, you are going to find yourself in a world of hurt, because people will continue to drain you if you allow them to. And so you have to prioritize your time with God and your time with yourself, making sure your cup is full. And say this with me: what's in my cup is for me. For me and God, what overflows from my cup is for everybody else. But if your cup is always at a deficit because you're giving from your cup, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to overflow onto other people. And so we should be storing up treasures in heaven. Where you put your money tells the story of what you believe you're worth. And if God thought you were worth dying for, why would you put yourself in a position to where everyone else does not see you that way? If you never invest in yourself, what are you communicating to yourself? What are you communicating to your own spirit about your value? What are you communicating to God about your worth and your value? I'll tell you what you're communicating. You're communicating that you don't matter that much and everyone else does. Yes, as we're laying up treasures in heaven, that is us investing in other people as well. So yes, we should be absolutely investing in other people as well, but that does not mean you are to neglect yourself. Okay? And so let's talk about what the cost is, right? So for this retreat that I'm speaking of, and just in general, I want you to count up the cost. So let's say, for example, there's um an entrepreneurs conference you want to go to, and the price of that ticket is like $400 or $500. You have to look at this from the lens of actual investments. Okay, so let's reframe this investment practically, not to justify it, but to reveal what you actually believe. Okay, so the founder's price that is going on right now is currently $747 for the overflow experience, and then it's $1147 for the sorry, $747 for the exhale experience, and then $1147 for the overflow experience. Now let's break down these prices, okay? just with the 747. $747 is 5 therapy sessions. If you can even get an appointment with someone that has the mental fortitude to not just want to keep you cycling on the wheel, but this person actually wants to see you breaking free, getting results, because sometimes when you go to therapy sessions, they're just there to listen to you talk because they getting paid regardless if you get solutions or not. And so 747 is equivalent to five therapy sessions if you can find a therapist that is quality. Now, 747 is also a girl's trip that leaves you more drained than when you left. Okay? $747 is standard rate for a girl's trip of what you will end up spending on a girl's trip. 747 is a conference that gives you a tote bag and a to-do list. And more courses for you to sign up after. I'm going somewhere with this because I think sometimes when we look at what a price tag is, we are missing out on the opportunity. And thank you guys for joining live. Make sure you're liking it live and sharing it with somebody else that needs to do more investing in themselves, and putting themselves in the position where they can be full and pour out to other people. So again, 747 in the lens of value proposition, right? It's more valuable for you to invest in something, a transformation, so that you can stop costing yourself more money in the end when you keep giving your time, your resources, your energy to the wrong people. You keep having boundaries that you keep being laxed on. 747 is literally the difference between you going to the next level and who God has called you to be and you staying stagnant. You may have success to a certain degree, but there's more. God has more for all of you. And if you don't see yourself as a worthy investment tool, you will say the $747 seems like a lot of money. But the reality is, what is it really costing you for staying where you are? What is it costing you for not having the right connections? Because having the right people in your circle, in your life, can transform your life. Okay. And so 747 is a spa weekend that feels good for 24 hours, but then you have to go right back home. So it can sound a lot, even just with, let's say, YouTube Premium. When you purchase YouTube Premium, I think it's like $27 for the family plan, but it gets rid of all those ads. Well, the way I see it, I'm going to pay this price for YouTube Premium so that I cannot have all the ads in all of my videos because I want to be able to listen to my worship music without it cutting to an ad trying to sell me um, something for a skin disease or something. I don't know. So my time is valuable to me. So instead of me wasting those 30 seconds to 1 minute or 2 minutes on an ad, I get to skip those ads or they don't come up at all because I have YouTube Premium. Okay. And so, or look at the 747 this way. $747 is 4 days of sacred rest, meeting and encountering God, finding or being a God friend to someone else, a nervous system reset, which I know is really huge right now. A lot of people are living in that fight or flight mode. They're living in survival mode, and it's literally deteriorating your brain. Is literally deteriorating your life. Your marriage is suffering. Your friendships are suffering because you're constantly living in a state of fear, unbelief, just you scared about everything. You're looking at everything with this hyper discerning lens, and the reality is you could be missing out on God moving because you're too afraid, you're too fearful, or you feel like you have to move through life quickly. You don't get to enjoy life. Okay, and so when you get your nervous system reset, it rewires how you show up for everything and everyone after you come to this retreat. You see, the strong friend is not afraid of spending money. She's afraid of spending it on herself sometimes because she feels like she's not that good of a friend, or she is always going to look at the lens of someone else may need something, always analyzing like, okay, is somebody else going to need something? Do I need to hold on to this? Can I wait? That's okay. I understand. And the truth is that fear has a root and is worth examining. And so Proverbs 31:17 says, she girds herself with strength and makes her arms strong. The Proverbs 31 woman invested in her own capacity. She was not a martyr. She was a woman who understood that her strength required maintenance. She girded herself. That's what retreats are for. All throughout the Bible, Jesus took time to retreat. He took time to get away. He took time to allow his Father in heaven to fill him up and to give him the wisdom or the strength that he needs to keep going. That was spiritual hygiene. Personal hygiene also looks like getting up to go and exercise. We think personal hygiene is just taking a bath and smelling good and having good lotions. But if you are carrying extra weight that you should not be carrying, and you're, let's say, for example, like me, my thyroid has been very active, overactive, and I have to get it under control. But it starts with me investing in my health. Okay. It starts with me investing in my health. And so if money was not an issue, if the price was $0, would you still come to the retreat? I want you to be honest. Drop yes or no in the chat. Because the reality is you're going to pay for what you want to pay for. Why not pay for something that is going to be valuable to you? Because the price is not actually the issue. The issue is believing you're worth the investment, believing that you can come and get the transformation that you actually need. And that is exactly what we're going to work on, starting with your first decision here. And so what's the real cost of not taking time for yourself? There's a cost to going, and there's a cost to not going. And the strong friend has been so confused on the first one that she hasn't even counted the second one. That what is it going to cost me if I don't show up for myself? What is it going to cost me if I don't go to that networking event? Because I'm not just speaking in terms of my retreat coming up. I'm talking in terms of just in general. When God has called you to go somewhere or do something, you need to take a second step back and say, if I say yes to this, if I'm saying no to this, what am I saying yes to? If I'm saying yes to this, what am I saying no to? Because the reality is we are making decisions all the time. Some of your yeses are leading you close to where you need to be. Some of them are not. Some of your no's are leading you in the right directions, and some of your no's are leading you in the wrong direction. And so if you stay hyper focused on, I don't want to go, or like me, I use the story, I'm an introvert, I just want to be at home. You miss out on opportunities for you to encounter God, for you to meet someone that is that yes that you've been waiting on. So get up, get out, go to those meetings, go to those events, go to the Bible study, go to the fitness class, go to the doctor, get a blood panel count and see what's going on with yourself. It is too expensive to wait to take care of what you can take care of today. And so the cost of not going is another year of running on empty, another September where you're depleted before the fall season even starts, and God forbid you try to enter into the holidays running on empty. Okay? Another year without God friends that can make your year better. Another year of waiting for the right time, saying things like, oh, I'm waiting on God. But the truth is, God is waiting on you. Whichever comes, because, excuse me, which never comes. So none of these things will never come because you never create an opportunity for those God friends to come into your life, for you to be full, for you to go into the holidays not bothered if they're asking you, hey, when are you going to get married? You can be like, listen, mind your business. Because now you have boundaries, you have systems, you have strategies. Luke 12:34 says, where your treasure is, your heart follows. What would it mean for you the strong friend, to follow an investment in your own restoration. What version of yourself shows up on the other side of these 4 transformational days? The woman who comes home from Jacksonville, because that's where the retreat is happening in September 3rd through the 6th, is not the same woman who left her hometown. She comes back to rest in her body. This woman comes back clear in her spirit, rejuvenated, ready to take the next step, ready to finish the year strong, connections in her corner, and permission to keep choosing herself. Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining the live. We just chatting tonight about why it's so important to invest in yourself. One thing I would also like to add is when you don't invest in yourself, invest in your mental health, invest in your physical health, it is easy for the enemy to play on that. The enemy will play on the fact that you neglect yourself or you still have a mother wound. The enemy will play on your need for sisterhood or brotherhood, and he will send you counterfeits. And before you know it, you'll find yourself in an idolatrous relationship. You'll find yourself, because you have taken no time to invest in yourself, the enemy will slowly creep in and begin to dim your light. He will begin to put people in your path that says, oh, I'm helping you. But the reality is they're not helping you. They're hurting you. But you can't tell because you're not clear in your mind. You're not clear in your spirit. Your soul is in a disarray. You're out of alignment. So it makes it easy for the enemy to send these agents into your life to disrupt what God has called you to have. And that inner me becomes your enemy. You lose that peace within because of the chaos that's going on around you. Okay? And so you need the proper connections in your corner. You need permission to keep choosing yourself and showing up for your purpose because it is biblical. We are to be walking in the purpose that God has called us to walk in. That woman, that strong woman, the restored version, goes home and she pours out better. She leads better. She loves better. She mothers better. She's a better wife. She serves better. This retreat is not about being selfish. It is one of the most generous things that you can do for yourself and for everyone else around you. Everyone else that depends on you would love for you to come back from a healthy place. Okay? What would be different in your life if you came here to Jacksonville full? You came home from Jacksonville full instead of empty, rested instead of raggedy. Because some of us be raggedy because we be so discouraged. We beat up ourselves so much. We're so hard on ourselves. High functioning women, high capacity women are so hard on themselves because they know there is more. What would be different if you gave yourself an opportunity to say la? What would be different for you? And so the founder's pricing for this retreat is closing tomorrow at midnight. It's closing tomorrow at midnight. Okay. Was it tomorrow? Let's see. No, it's closing on Monday at midnight. Sorry. Whenever you're watching this, it's closing on the 30th at midnight. And so you want to make sure that you grab it at this price because it'll never be this price again. Um, yeah. That's it. That's all. If you have any questions about the retreat, logistics, what's included, payment plans, anything, you can drop them in the comments or you can reach out to me via DM or you can email me at hi@ashleymsturgis.com. And I would love to talk to you about it. I want you to be sure of the decision you're making. I want you to take serious the investment you make into yourself. We have Afterpay and Klarna available. You don't have to do it all at once. You can take your time, and do it in installments, just to secure your spot, because that's what's most important is securing your spot. So tomorrow is the last day for, no, Monday is the last day for the founders pricing. And so after Monday, the prices will go up. And I want to leave you with this. You have to invest in everything and everyone. You've invested in everything and everyone long enough. Labor Day weekend, September 3rd through the 6th, is your time. to take for you. Okay. It's your time to take for you. So Founders Pricing is closing tonight and it goes, or not tonight, on Monday night, and it goes up from there. I am pleading with you. Take the chance. Take the chance. You spend money on everything else except for yourself. Tonight, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. I want you to go to the website. It's www.ashleymsturgis.com/ the Strong Friend Retreat. Let me see if I can put that in here. You have to bear with me because I am still learning this TikTok side. It's a little different. It's a lot of gamifications, and I'm not sure how this pans out. But if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you right to the website, and you'll be able to see all the details. The venue will be released after you register. And yeah, I'm just excited. Don't skip your opportunity to lay up treasures in heaven, investing in yourself so that you can pour out to others, so that you can be a vessel, so that God can use you. Okay. If them children came to you, it's like, Mommy, I need some new shoes. Uh, and I want these specific shoes. I guarantee you'll figure out how to get it. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Because I'm going to find that money for my children. So I pray that this blessed you tonight. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat or you can send me a DM. Um, Hit follow if you're not following me on all social media platforms at Ashley M. Sturgis. I'm on YouTube a lot as well. Instagram gets most of my updates. And of course, we're here on TikTok as well. So I pray that you all will take some time out to just show up for yourself. Okay. Y'all got about 6 months, a little less than 6 months to just do what you need to do to make sure that you're in the room. Do it in advance. Take your time, do it now. This retreat is especially for women that carry a lot, carry a lot of burdens. You are that girl to everyone, and you're always asking yourself, like, who's going to be that person to me? Who is going to hear me when I don't speak? Who is going to call me when they don't see me coming anymore? Who is going to look for me? Who is going to show up for me like I'm capable of showing up for you? Okay. So God bless you all. Y'all have a great night. I pray that I'll see you at the Strong Friend Retreat. I will be back live tomorrow by the grace of God. So yeah, I'll talk soon. Y'all have a good night. Right.